Are you starting out as a designer and need Photoshop for your projects? While it is a great app to have, it can get a little expensive, especially if you're not making much yet as a newbie designer. So in this video, we're going to be taking you through all the options for purchasing Photoshop. That's right. And there's more than just one. We'll take you through each pricing tier and outline how much bang you get for your buck, depending on the plan that you choose. Once we've outlined all the options, we'll give you our recommendations. But before we get into all of that, would you mind just doing us a quick favor and hitting those like and subscribe buttons? Yeah, now would be great. Thanks. And oh, by the way, if you're looking for a discount of Photoshop, be sure to check out the link in the description box below. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's start by looking at the standard cost of Photoshop. The price for the standalone Photoshop application is $20.99 per month with an annual contract. Without an annual contract, the price jumps up to $31.49 per month. Yikes! But if you're pretty certain that you'll be using Photoshop all year long, well, you can choose to pay for the full year upfront. The annual contract is only recommended for those planning to use the program for at least a year. For those intending to try out the app for a few months, well, the monthly option is probably the better choice. And why? Well, because if you decide to cancel Photoshop before you've finished your annual contract, you're going to have to pay 50% of the remainder of the annual total. Adobe's sneaky like that. So for example, if you canceled after 6 months, you'd still have to cough up $62.97. Now, it is worth mentioning that the subscription plan doesn't just give you access to Photoshop. Users will get access to 100 gigs of cloud storage as well. Now, this is a decent size amount of storage if you're dealing with a few photos, but not ideal if you've got hundreds to store. The subscription also comes with Adobe support, which includes an online ticket system and a phone number. This is great, as it gives you the option to either describe your issues in text or talk with someone over the phone. You won't be stuck with one or the other. So now, what are you thinking? Does the $20.99 per month price sound too expensive? Well, then the photography plan may just be the cheaper alternative worth exploring. Adobe's photography plan includes Photoshop, Lightroom, and Lightroom Classic. As the plan's name implies, these are all apps for developing photos. If you don't know already, Lightroom and Lightroom Classic are both used for editing raw photographs. Now, these are great apps for making quick and detailed edits of photos, thanks to the simple sliders for common edits. Even though the photography plan gives you more apps, the price is cheaper than the Photoshop Solo plan. The cost for the photography plan is just $9.99 per month on an annual contract. That being said, there is no month-to-month package for this plan, which is a bit of a bummer. With a price that low, well, there's got to be a catch, right? Well, there is, sort of. The catch is that cloud storage is only 20 gigs instead of 100 gigs, which might be enough for users who have the smallest of assets.
Containing all the information covered on the test.
But you can purchase more storage with an upgrade. Damn you, Adobe, always trying to squeeze more out of us. So if you do decide to pay for the upgraded photography plan at $19.99 a month, you'll receive 1 terabyte of cloud storage. Now, this plan is actually cheaper than the standard Photoshop plan, especially considering how much more space you're going to get. So if you've got hundreds of photos and graphics to keep stored, this is the plan for you. But let's say Photoshop, Lightroom, and Lightroom Classic are not enough. Perhaps you also need InDesign or the video editing capabilities of Premiere. Those who need more Adobe apps along with Photoshop will find the best value in the complete Creative Cloud plan. Now, this plan costs $54.99 per month with an annual plan. Without an annual plan, it'll cost $82.49 per month. Ouch! Now, that's a steep price, but access to all of the Adobe apps is useful for multimedia developers. Think of yourself like Ash Ketchum. If you want to be the very best, you've got to catch them all. If you need a website for your photography portfolio, then Dreamweaver makes that dream a reality. You can then use Premiere Pro or After Effects to place your photos in a cool showreel that showcases your best work. It should be noted that the cloud storage space with this plan is still only 100 gigabytes. This is the same space as the solo Photoshop plan, but less than the upgraded photography plan. Now, at this point, you might be wondering if there's a way to buy Photoshop without paying for a subscription. Is it possible to buy Photoshop outright? Those were the good times, right? Well, the answer is yes and no. You see, there's Photoshop Elements, which is a consumer-friendly version of the application. Think of it as a simplified Photoshop designed with beginners in mind. It does have most of the same tools and an interface that is easier to use. The central focus on the program is common photo edits such as red eye removal and background replacement. The big draw of Photoshop Elements is its one-time price tag. The price of the application is only $99.99, and that's all you pay. There's no monthly subscription or contract. Just pay once, and the application is yours for life. Nice. The only downside with the pricing is that you'll have to pay to upgrade to future versions. Thankfully, upgrading comes at a reduced cost, as opposed to purchasing the program at the same price again. We should mention that there are some drawbacks to using Photoshop Elements instead of Photoshop CC. The more advanced features of Photoshop CC are not present in Elements, and this includes some of the Adobe Sensei technology for altering facial expressions. Elements can accomplish video much like Photoshop CC, but without as many tools or customization. Elements is for non-photographers that need fast and easy photo edits. Small businesses that are just starting out or social media influencers can get the most use out of the product. Photoshop CC, on the other hand, accomplishes, well, much more. With the chokehold it has on the market, it's been the first choice for professional photographers and graphic designers for over a decade. So do keep this in mind if you're planning to invest in Elements. With all things considered, which pricing tier is the best choice? Well, this is where it comes down to what you actually need. Those who are working on a budget should obviously go for the photography plan. It is the cheapest of the subscription models at $9.99 per month and gives you access to quite a bit. You might not have a use for Lightroom or Lightroom Classic, but it never hurts to have it there for quick photo edits. The upgraded photography plan is also ideal if you need the most cloud storage space for your photos and graphics. It's easy enough to recommend this plan for photographers, but it's also recommended for intermediate designers who need the most storage space for less money. If you are looking to save a lot of money in the long run and don't need every tool under the sun, Photoshop Elements might be the one for you. Considering the upfront cost of about $100, you can make that one version of the program last you for as long as your computer can handle it. Now, we think it's especially great for beginners to dip their toe into the Adobe universe. Designers who consider themselves a jack of all trades should definitely go with the complete Creative Cloud package. Those working in photography, print, video, and web development will find a use for nearly every application. The plan is a bargain, comparatively, cheaper than buying 4 or 5 Creative Cloud apps separately. With all these aspects considered, the complete Creative Cloud is recommended for versatile designers. For the designer who's willing to learn Photoshop for its many capabilities, the solo Photoshop plan may be just the right fit. Photoshop is already capable of developing photos, graphics, videos, and more. With enough time and training, Photoshop by itself can become a one-stop design app. And with all of that said, that brings us to the end. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos on design apps and how much they cost. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.